Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 3, the reunion part 3. So yeah, I'm glad that this is over. It's just enough now. It was a really good 3-episode reunion, one of the better ones that I've seen in a long time. So I'm not complaining. It's just that what else are we going to talk about? You know, the crazy thing about the reunion, though, is that because they didn't get a season 2 reunion, a lot of the stuff that we are talking about in reunion number 3 or season number 3 is stuff that really we should have handled in season number 2. So because they didn't get to it, then they're getting to it now. So it's kind of hard to remember our perspective of what was going on back when the shit was happening in season 2, because more stuff has happened. But we just kind of have to put our mind frame at the time of when people are talking about what happened in the past and kind of, try to look at it from that viewpoint, whether or not we would agree with Letisha, for instance, or Kimmy, or, Mel or Martell or anybody. So, but with all that being said, it still has been a season 3, a really good reunion for season 3. I think everybody is ready to take a break, though, and including us. So with no more further ado, you guys, let's finish this up. Let's wrap it up. Okay, the reunion review, let's get to it, shall we? So we start off the show with getting rid of the men. Okay, let's let it be all about the ladies right now. So the sad thing about it is Martell must not have no team, no friends. He goes back to his little room by himself every time they get a break. Okay, of course, Maurice and Marceau go together. And, they're just kind of laughing about what just happened, the whole thing about transparency and, basically that they've always felt that Louis and Tiffany are not transparent. Okay. Louis goes to visit Martell because he ain't really trying to be around the Scott brothers because they just had that confrontation out there. Louis probably still in his feelings a little bit, but he tells Martell, damn, it's been tough out there, right? Martell is just happy to have somebody that, kind of gets on the hot plate besides himself. And Martell is just I don't know what they think. Are you supposed to just go and be telling them all your dirt, all your business? That ain't how Martell works. So, of course, Martell is feeling it for Louis right now. I think Martell just, like I said, wanted somebody to take the heat. But anyway, the men are gone. So we get to the women, okay? Carlos was like, I know it's been tough, but we got through it, okay? You okay, Mel? Mel was just like, I'm amazing. You're doing amazing. This is amazing. Okay, of course she was being sarcastic. It has been tough. I think Mel has probably had the hardest time having to, face the shit with Martell. And that's a lot for any married, not old, but any ex-wife to have to deal with. So I did feel for Mel, but hey, we got a show to put on. That you got to take the good with the bad, So, all right, let's talk about the women and their cat fights. There's plenty of cat fights on the show. Let's start with the ones that we don't really care about, but is still there. Destiny and Tiffany. Do you feel like Tiffany is messy, Destiny? She says, of course. Tiffany says, well, that's her opinion. I was just like, listen, Tiffany, you're going to have to come up with a better comeback than that's their opinion. That's how you're going to feel about everybody. Yes, we all know we all have opinions. But Destiny and Tiffany just don't like each other. When he asked Mel, what does she think? Mel was just like, well, it was weird because it carried over a long time. I feel like Destiny never got over it. Well, Destiny says, I didn't really get a chance to get over it. We never really got a chance to talk about it because, Mel was step in, Captain Save a Hoe. On top of that, Tiffany gave her some old half-assed apology at Taco Tuesday, and she wasn't feeling it. Tiffany tells her that she was judgmental. Destiny was just like, it's not the pot calling the kettle black, so you telling me I'm judgmental. Please tell me how I have judged you. And Tiffany starts to try to go around it. She says, no, answer the question that I just asked you. Tell me how I judged you. Okay? Because Destiny hasn't necessarily judged Tiffany. So Mel and Tiffany, in my opinion, was kind of gaslighting Destiny. Because for whatever reason, Melody doesn't want to see that Destiny has a point. So then Carlos says, well, Destiny, maybe this whole problem that you have with Tiffany is like a cover for the bigger problem that you have with Mel. Okay, where does your friendship stand with Mel? And she was just like, well, I don't really know, because me and Mel used to talk all the time, every day, all day. And then when the show wrapped, she's like, I haven't talked to her since. I've called her, I've texted her, she hasn't responded. And Mel was just like, that's accurate, that's true. But Mel was just like, I've gotten to a point that when the show is over, like, I have to disconnect. And that means from everybody on the show. So she doesn't really want to have to deal with anybody on the show, which I can imagine is like, you need relief from everybody. But, these people ain't done nothing to you, especially, well, Destiny hadn't done anything to her. So I can understand why Destiny feels like, Mel ghosted her. And Mel said she did, but it was because she was, she was having issues. She needs to just have a break from everything. Well, Letisha makes a face, and, Mel was just like, Letisha, don't be over there making faces and all. And Letisha was just like, basically that's an excuse. Excuse for what? I haven't done anything to her. And Letisha was like, okay, well, listen, I don't really know what's going on with your friendship with Destiny, but I'm not talking about that. She was like, but I can say that, as far as Letisha is concerned, Mel will be friends with you when she needs you. Okay. When she's going through something, then she's around for sure. But once you get it together, then she's ghost. And Mel was just like, first thing, let's be clear. I've always had everything together. And Letisha and I have had many conversations about this. She knows that I told her that I was dealing with things in my marriage with Martell, and it had nothing to do with anybody else. I mean, Mel gets that. I give Mel that, Her and Letisha never really was good friends anyway. Letisha maybe put more stock into the relationship. I don't know. I think Letisha really looked up to Mel. She wanted to do the things that Mel did, and then when Mel got jealous. Now, see, this is when we're talking about season 2. When Mel's marriage fell apart, and then she got on this whole train with Martell about Marceau messing around with another person and all that. I mean, it was very clear that Mel was like in this, my shit ain't working out. I don't want nobody else's shit to work out either. So she was, remember how she was, you guys, you have to remember, but she was awful to Letisha. Awful, terrible. And so, Letisha gets on her nerves and all this season, but Mel was a bitch to her. Letisha ain't forgot it. We haven't either. So when Mel is trying to explain to Carlos why she was acting the way she was, Letisha was just like, that sounds good. Okay. And Mel was just like, but what have I done to you? She said, girl, you was talking about my marriage. You were talking about my marriage. And she was just like, but I did not say anything about you. I am me inside of my marriage. So when you talk about my marriage, then yes, bitch, you talking about me too. Okay. Mel was just like, don't be putting me out here as if I'm a user and all of that, because I was a friend to Letisha, but when things was going on and when I was going through, we had many conversations about it. And Letisha just still was just like, no, you was a bitch. And you was saying that Marceau was doing all this, messing around, blah, blah, blah. And Mel was just like, I don't understand why all this rah-rah, you turned up against me. They was going back and forth. And Letisha was just like, look, okay, maybe I shouldn't have been calling you sweetie and honey and baby. Okay, maybe I should be more respectful in that sense. But Letisha still had a point. Mel was horrible. Just an awful, just awful. And I would definitely, if I was Letisha, I would be dealing with Mel with a long, what's the stick? You stay your distance. We cool and all, but other than that, no, not really trying to trust her. But and it was always weird to me that Letisha tried to come around with Mel all of a sudden. But I think that she did because all of a sudden she found herself at odds with her sister-in-law. Can't be mad at both of them. So now she had to kind of forge a friendship back with Mel just so that she could stay in the place where she was with Kimmy. So we kind of had a sidebar with Mel and Letisha. But yeah, Carlos wants to know what's up with Destiny and Mel. And she says, I still don't know. Where are we good, Mel? And Mel was just like, I'm sorry that you feel hurt. And she says that she hates that they're where they are. I don't think that Mel considers Destiny a friend like that. I think that Mel has decided to disconnect herself from everybody on the show and only deal with them when she's on the show. Now, the conversation that Letisha and Kimmy had was just tiring because we've kind of had this conversation with Kimmy and Letisha all season, or the beginning of the season, and just Kimmy trying to explain to Letisha that she has been trying to be there for Letisha in the way that she can be, and it's still not good enough for Letisha, you know? And so Letisha's kind of whole thing is that Kimmy basically says that she felt like Tisha was mad at her because she still had a friendship with Mel when they were going through their shit. And Letisha said, yeah, well, because she tried to ruin my marriage. Okay. And people would say, like, how your sister-in-law and your brother-in-law never speaks up for you. And, you know, the Mel out there just saying all kind of reckless shit about you. Mel again says that she didn't. Yes, you did. Okay. And then Kimmy says, but we've had countless conversations about it. I would tell them to just stop talking about it. Just stop talking about it altogether and it would go away. But Letisha was just like, no, see, you never would try to take up for me. And she was like, I did, you know, but we've had conversations off camera. But for whatever reason, if it don't happen on camera, then it hasn't happened. Okay. So you guys have gotten so wrapped up in this show and social media and all of that. Nobody is remembering like the real, this life outside of the show. Yes, Kimmy has had conversations with Letisha about it. They kept on letting it go. But bottom line is Kimmy feels like she can't live up to Letisha's expectations. But she had already said that on the show as well. Carlos says, well, you said that Letisha is spoiled. She said she is spoiled. She thinks that she's supposed to get everything the way that she wanted when she wants it. And Letisha admits that she is spoiled, but, you know, she feels like she's done so much for Kimmy. And Kimmy was just like, and I've done stuff for you too, you know, but I guess we got to start, naming what we've done. So Letisha's put all this stock in the fact that she gave Kimmy a bridal shower, and Kimmy was like, and I thank you for that, but it's just like, what else? You know, where is it that you don't think that I've tried to take up for you and tried to be there for you? And Letisha could never give her a really for certain time of when she felt that Kimmy was, had abandoned her, I guess. Carlos asked Kimmy, would she be friends with Letisha if it weren't for the show and if she wasn't like married to her brother and her brother-in-law. And she said no, she wouldn't be friends with her because she doesn't have the energy to even give to a friendship that Letisha requires. And Letisha's heard about that, you know. She's like, well, I wouldn't want a friend that, cannot be there for me. Like when I say I need you, she's not going to be there, don't have the energy. So, but I guess that is kind of hard to hear, but it's true. Kimmy is just like, I don't even know what to tell her, what to give her, what she needs. Like, I don't even know it. I don't have it. So this is the part where I was talking about where you have to kind of try to remember from when things was going on. Letisha was very much accurate about how Mel treated her. Very much. Okay. Mel choosing to not remember the facts as they were is one thing, but this situation with Kimmy and Letisha, first of all, is stupid. It's childish. I feel like Letisha kind of has like this, I don't know why, she just has like a childlike way of looking at friendships. So, this was not good, I'm imagining, for their relationship as sister-in-laws. So at the end of that segment, I think that Letisha was pretty much pissed with both Mel and Kimmy for separate reasons. It was tough on Letisha, but she made it on through. So next, you guys, we have the mamas come in. Miss Wanda, Miss Vanessa. And we've gotten rid of Tiffany and Lewis, thank goodness. I've had enough of them too. Well, we don't have all three of the mamas. Martell mama was just like, fuck that, she ain't fooling with all of this mess. Okay, she don't do this. Okay, she home with the babies, Martell said. But so now that we got everybody back out there and the mamas, again, we kind of have to go back into season 2 to get through this part. So when Carlos asked Vanessa, how she feels about Miss Wanda, she was like, Miss Wanda just talks to hear herself speak. And Miss Wanda was like, what? I don't talk to just hear myself speak. You needed to be talking to your daughter. You need to talk to your daughter so you can teach her how to make them tapes like you did. I was like, case in point. What do these sex tapes, supposed sex tapes that Miss Vanessa and the brother of Marceau and Maurice have to do with anything on this show? She just wanted to talk about them tapes, that's all. So Carlos comes in and was just like, tapes? What tapes do you guys keep talking about? And Letisha was just like, see, her mother stays in the comments on Instagram. So when people get to talking about some sex tape that Miss Vanessa and the brother was involved in, then of course Miss Wanda reads it takes it as gospel and then spreads it. And she told her that she shouldn't be doing that. If you don't hear it come from Mel's mouth or Melody's mother's mouth, then stop talking about it. Stop spreading, lies, because it's wrong. But my whole thing is Letisha didn't start doing that to her mother until like this season. She's never really checked her mother the first 2 seasons because she was kind of wanting her mom to speak for her. She hadn't found her voice. And so Miss Wanda was doing a lot of the talking that Letisha felt she couldn't do. But now it's gotten to a point where it's a mess because Miss Wanda just been reckless with it. And now all of a sudden you trying to stop her from doing it. Okay. Now the shit been working for the last 36 episodes or however long we done did it. Now all of a sudden you don't want me to do it. So that's why now Letisha has gotten fed up with Miss Wanda, because now she's not listening. Because what? You gave me the license to do it all this time. So does the tape exist? And Miss Vanessa was just like, no, there's no tape. Mel was just like, I didn't hear so much about this tape. Like, there is a tape, then produce it, goddamn. Okay. Maybe we can learn something from Miss Van, okay? No tape has ever shown up. Marceau says that he's never seen the tape, but yeah, he heard about it. He's heard about it, but he doesn't know for sure if it does exist. Maybe they did make a tape at one time, but erased it. But who cares? They were in a relationship. Which Miss Vanessa says that they were never in a relationship. She was like, let's be clear. I was, seeing him. We were spending time together. Well, that's kind of called a relationship. Martell was just like, but Miss Vanessa, you did go see him. You would drive 5 or 6 hours to see him. Like, that sounds like a relationship to me. And she was just like, we were spending time together. And no, it was not a relationship. But it doesn't even really matter because Miss Vanessa's single. I'm assuming the brother was single, even if he may have been younger than her or whatever. So what? Like, she can date whoever. He can date whoever. There's nothing wrong with any of that. And so Marceau was just like, okay, first of all, yeah, they were in a relationship. I mean, she can split hairs here all she wants, but it was a relationship. But again, it doesn't matter because everybody was grown. But Miss Vanessa's point was, don't speak on lies. If you hear about shit and it's not the truth, why would you even spread it? Because Miss Wanda is ignorant and she loves all the attention that she gets from the show, the commenters, all of that. I told you guys plenty of times, everybody lives on social media on this show. Social media should be also getting a paycheck from the show. They are part of this show. Now that Miss Wanda's up there, and what Miss Wanda, so you had a problem with Vanessa. You also have a problem with Kimmy. Okay, you said that Kimmy was a snake, and Miss Wanda was just like, well, I brought up that snake thing because that's not Miss Wanda's voice. I can't get her voice today, you guys. But Miss Wanda said that she brought up the whole snake thing because she basically feels like Kimmy is two-faced. She knows that Kimmy and Letisha talked about Mel behind her back, so she just assumed that that's what she's doing with Mel too. Kimmy says that Letisha doesn't have any loyalty to her. And then it's right back to the whole Kimmy and Letisha and why they fighting thing. But now we've got Wanda that stepped in. And you guys, it just was more of the same. I feel like we are just over the Letisha and Kimmy situation. I don't think that their friendship is ever going to get back to where it was because it's a lot of water under the bridge and it's a lot of hurt feelings on both sides. I feel like Letisha is way more hurt than Kimmy is. I think Kimmy is just tired. So it's too bad because Maurice and Marceau are very close and now their wives are not. And Marceau said that they've listened too much outside noise. Well, I think everybody on the show has listened too much to outside noise, like the other cast member of the show, Social Media. So Social Media has a lot to say, and so that also has swayed their opinions of each other. But yeah, you guys, Kimmy was over it. Like, she was like, is this like done? Like, she's done talking about all of that. So now we get the mamas out of there, take them on off the show, and they're gone. All right, so it's a break. And, they're just kind of all laughing, talking or whatever. Somebody asked Carlos who's his favorite, and somebody says Martell. Okay, the bad boy. Mel says, well, Martell likes being a villain. Oh, Mel, that's not true. I'm trying to be the best man that I can be, just not to you. Martell, I don't want you to be a best man for me. Well, okay, Mel, just stop talking to me then. We'll talk later. Martell, I'm not going to talk to you later. You don't even have my number. Mel, you forget that the kids call me from your phone all the time? Oh, Martell, that is a track phone. That's a trap phone. Like, you think that you got my number? Honey, you ain't calling on my phone. That's for you and the kids. Okay, well, whatever, Mel. Just shut up then. Quit talking, dang. cracks me up when he be so indignant, you know. He wanted to just be quiet. That's why he ain't with Mel. He can't control her. So anyway, during this break, they bring Lewis and Tiffany back out there. Now we got the whole cast back on the show, minus the mamas and, you know, the extras or whatever. And he says, okay, you know, this has been a great season. All right, I know it's tough to go through everything on the show just to get back and have to regurgitate it all in the reunion. You know, he appreciates everybody for being there and for doing it. You know, hopefully they feel like they got a lot off their chest, and everybody was just sort of like, no. If anything, this shit got worse. And he was like, well, that's good. You know, good news is that we got to approve for another season so you guys can all hash it out season 4. Okay, but this season is a wrap on this. In the spirit of supporting, you know, chocolate in a bottle, they are going to take a toast, pour the champagne, and take a toast to the season. So, you know, they pour the damn chocolate in the bottle, everybody stands up, and we toast, you know, to Love and Marriage Huntsville. He thanks him for being a stellar cast, you know, the best one that he's worked with in his 15 years in reality TV, you know, and all of that. I mean, Carlos did have an excellent season. I mean, Carlos is having a very great run with his shows. I'm happy for him. You know, he's been through some shit, so, and landed on his feet. And so it's good to see black men, you know, black people. I told you, I just want us to win. So good for Carlos. And the show that he's been able to successfully put on and that people are interested and watching and all of that. Okay, Love and Marriage Huntsville definitely has a following. They have their stands, just like the big reality shows. So he's earned his space in history for sure. But yeah, you guys, it was a good season. Season 3 is over. I'm so glad. I'm tired of doing reviews on Sundays, even though I still have power. But I don't like doing weekend videos. It is tough. So the fact that this show was good enough for me to, you know, be like committed to it on a Sunday is great. So I thought the show was good. What y'all thought about the season 3? All right, you guys, got to do power review. So let me get off of here with this. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. This channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Goodbye.